Hi everyone, this is Marianne from Happy Paper People, and today I'm going to do a flip through of the accordion book I have made for the Makers Creative Collab. Hashtag Makers Creative Collab. You will find a lot of cool items. This is a creative collaboration of a bunch of artists. It is hosted by Mariah of PM Artist Studios. In the description box below, you will see a playlist of all the artists that have participated in this month's creative collab, and the theme was Accordion to Me. So I have an accordion book to share with you. At the end of the video, up in the corner will be a link to the next video in line. So you can just hop from one to the other, and none of them are more than 20 minutes long. So it's a quick way to get through, see a whole bunch of fabulous artists' creations. I've had a sneak peek of a few of them, and I'm telling you, they are amazing. So I do have a sari ribbon tie that is going to go around this, but I didn't put it on to show you. So this is my accordion book, and the cover is made out of two chipboard tags, just large tags. Actually, they were just chipboard pieces, and I cut the corners to make them a tag and put the eyelets in them. So I didn't make sure everything was in order before I started this. So, okay, so we start with the front cover. The key up here is well over 100 years old. It comes from a plantation in South Carolina. I did nothing to this. This is the rust that it was when I received it. And this is the original wire that was on it. So I decided to leave that original wire on that to hang it. I did rust and patina these three elements here. This one, the book plate, and the brads were all white before I started. The doorknob was silver, and the lock, I believe that it was gold. It might have been antique gold. So I did rust and patina those. It is covered in a collage of paper. It's not one single piece of paper, but it is a collage. And it just so happened that right underneath this, there was a doorknob there. And I thought that was the perfect, perfect place to put it and perfect thing to put on there, like an actual doorknob. So the base of this book, this accordion book, is all torn paper. I started with 12 by 12 paper and left the bottom straight cut, and I tore the top so that it would not be even in order to make my accordion pages. And so the only thing that really is cut straight is the bottom, and I did that so that if someone wanted to stand it up like this or display it like this, all the bottoms would be fairly level and even so that it would stand nicely. So inside the front cover is a pocket with a metal embellishment here. The pockets are all of torn papers as well. There's a small tag and a postcard in here. There's a lot of writing room on these type of elements, and a butterfly with some gears, and an ATC of mixed media art that I have done with multiple techniques. It goes in there. The hinge of that page has some burlap on it, and then there's a flip right here that has a cluster of 3 tiny tags. Each one of these opens up, and each one acts as the closure of the one above it, except the small one, and it has its own closure right there. And they are made of music paper. This newspaper underneath here actually came from a friend's basement, had been in the basement of their parents for many, many years, and had things stacked on top of it, and it is well over 60 years old, and I did nothing to it. That's exactly how it looked. It's an amazing piece of newspaper, using little bits and pieces, trying to make it last there. And then I just added a tab up here with an eyelet and a rusted pen nib, because you need a pen nib to write letters, right? Flip over the small page flap there. On the other side is a pocket with that single-sided scrapbooking paper, so it's not super thick, but I loved its music, but it's very old grungy music, and I really loved that aspect of it. So there are a couple of tags and cards in here as well, more journaling space, and just some collage elements on there. So the base is a continuous 12 by 12 piece of paper, but I did add elements of collage here and there just to strengthen it and to add some interest in, you know, visually. Also, it is two 12 by 12s connected together to make the full accordion. One was not long enough. So here's a bulb pin with, these were some really, really old pieces of jewelry that I had purchased from some estate sale, and just a really, really old funky bead that I thought kind of fit there, looked pretty cool. So a mixed media heart that I had made, and these were brads. I just bent the legs off and glued the brads on there. This is a piece of muslin, and I have a large background stamp that is gears and cameras and, you know, just the whole steampunk vibe on it. And I used that to stamp on this piece of muslin. And the same stamp is on this little piece that's across the top, but in a darker color ink, as well as this one on the bottom. I decided to take a Posca pen and in a brown and kind of trace or outline some of these elements, the camera here and things, just for a little of interest. It seemed a little flat with all the same color. So this is a flip up, if you can get hold of it. And underneath the flip up, here is a scrap of a piece of mixed media that I had made. Here's another piece from the same. It was a large piece, and I'm tearing it up and using bit by bit, and I don't want to run out, and I'm about done, so time to make some more. There's a couple of tags in here. I really loved this base paper, and I really didn't want to completely cover up. So once you remove the tags and flip up, that you can see that. That's just I just really enjoy the swirls and the colors. It fits very nicely. Okay, on to the other side is a pocket that is a layer of paper which has script on it, and then another paper over it, and then a fabric stamped pocket watch, some numbers and flourishes collaged, and some old metal buttons that I had found in there. In this tag are a couple of postcards. Again, a little more writing space there. And this is actually the front of a file folder. It's a mini file folder that I just made. It's about 6 by 4, 4 by 6. And I made that file folder. The tab is over here. I went ahead and glued the tab side down, and then just made a small notebook that could be journaling space or tear off for lists, and punched a couple holes on top. This piece of lace is well over 100 years old, and that is the last bit that I have from that lace. So I had to tie it carefully. It could rip fairly easily. And just clipped that to the file folder with an old rusty binder clip, so that if these pages are used, they could be torn off and stuck in another part or taken as a list, and a whole nother pad could be added to that, to the binder clip. All right, moving on. More collage. This is where two meet. Actually, this is the second piece here, and then this piece is collaged over it. This piece is collaged over it, this piece is collaged over it. So there is actually a pocket here, and then a pocket here. And then this piece down here is an ATC, an artist trading coin mixed media that I had decided to cut that to fit in the corner. It just seemed to fit, give a little bit of visual interest there. And the back, also collaged, and this is the same basic paper as the back or inside of the front cover, and some other collage script pieces there. This postcard seemed to be a perfect little corner tuck, and a couple more pieces to go in there. The point up here is an artist trading coin mixed media that I made, and a flourish that is just covered in copper foiling. It was white and gold foil previously, and I like the copper foil. There's some elements in some of these other mixed media things that I had done of copper metallic, so I just overlaid that. Okay, the back cover has also a rusty patinaed doorknob like the front, and this flourish, I just liked it because it really went along with the flourishes on this particular paper, the one that I said inside that I really liked, and some different gears that I had patinaed along the way, and the same eyelet. And on the back is an old patinaed rusty string, and attached to it is a gear and an old rusty lucky penny. So now you go to the back, there's a whole nother book. So it opens like that. This page starts with an envelope. It's an envelope tuck. You could tuck something up when it's closed. You can tuck something up right underneath there. And the entire envelope opens up to reveal writing space. I may ink along those edges just to soften that bright white up a little bit, but it folds right back into itself. This is something we made in Happy Paper People on a mass make a few weeks ago. And this gear has been covered with Tim Holtz embossing glaze. Not embossing powder, but embossing glaze. These tickets are tucked behind this tiny envelope, and the tiny envelope does open and reveals a tiny card inside there. Okay, the page across, another torn page pocket, an old train ticket, and a label, a little piece of background paper that just matched the design or the coloring of this page. I really like just the little bright spots of yellow among all of the vintage colors. And this was a piece of muslin that I had stamped a moth and butterfly stamp on, and I've done that in multiple colors, where I have multiple colors for each of the moths or butterflies, as well as doing it in sepia and in black and in brown and vintage photo. And I really like that little piece. I've got a bunch of those. I kind of did a mass make of those to have them on hand. And in this pocket is a tag. This is a tag that I made on a Saturday Night Live at Happy Paper People, where we do a Tell Us What to Do. And the audience gets to tell me and my guest what we are going to make. In this instance, obviously they set a tag, and then they tell us what elements we have to use to make that tag. So they might have said, well, in this one they said use a frame. So here's my frame. They said use a button. So there's a button. And yeah, I don't remember what the third thing was. There's always three things they tell us, but I used this cluster that I had made when we did a mass make of tiny envelope clusters. I had made that. I used that cluster on there, so that worked quite well. That could be gessoed on the back and then used to write on as well. Okay, flipping over the next page, another torn page pocket, a couple of postcards in here. They can be written on. This space here can be journaled on as well. On this side is a giant paper clip. It is not a hidden paper clip. It is right there visible, but every book needs just a little bit of bling. So there's our little bit of shiny bling for this one. And some more writing room, journaling room there, and tucked inside it is a couple of postcards that obviously can also be written on. Turning the page is the back cover. Nope, I'm sorry, we're back to the front cover because that was the back side of the book, so we are back to the front cover. Right where we started. So, and this is, as I said, a bunch of collaged pages, a little bit of stenciling on here and there, and we can stand that up, display it like that. We can lay it down. We can tie the sari ribbon around it and set it somewhere. But that is my accordion journal for the for the Makers Creative Collab. Again, check out the playlist down below. Check out the link that's up above for the very next person on the playlist, and join us on Happy Paper People. We're here every Saturday, not every Saturday night, second and fourth weeks of the month. We're here for a Saturday Night Live. We're here every Monday at noon. We're here every Thursday at 2 o'clock. And in the Facebook group, come join us at Happy Paper People Facebook group, where we have lots of pictures, lots of fun, lots of challenges, and the most amazing people you will ever meet. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.